All right, everyone. What is going on? We are live. Happy Wednesday. I think it is Wednesday, March the 6th. Welcome to the Unconventional Mindset. My name is Anum. And as always, we get together here every Monday through Friday and we live stream and we just do work in terms of trying to figure out how to build ourselves a company that's going to generate us $1 million in revenue every single year. That's what we're working towards. Kevin, how you doing, man? Welcome. Happy Wednesday, as I think I already said. All right, so today I think we'll do something a little bit differently in the sense that I've been thinking a lot about, actually I've been thinking about this for over a year now, about starting a podcast and what that would look like and if it even makes sense to do from a business perspective and if it's going to help me, achieve the business goals that we're looking for. And of course, those business goals that we're looking for is to, obviously attract people to Pixel Pieces and also attract people to Pixel, which is just, our web design and creative services agency. So let's take a quick look here. Because the thing is, I love the idea of having a podcast. Just being able to talk to people, I think is really, really cool. And I just love doing it. So, I've done it before and it's just really enjoyable. So I know for me personally, it'll actually be a fun thing to do. But I've also kind of been conscientious to know that just because I like to do something or that I think it'll be fun, it might not necessarily be the best thing to do or to do for the business. So that's what I kind of want to figure out. Sam, podcast, just triple exclamation mark. So the thing, So I figure take a quick look at who we think our target market is for Pixel. And then by analyzing who we think our customer segment is or are, and then we can kind of think about what kind of podcast we should actually do and what kind of guests we should have, and then think about how that's going to help us at the end of the day do better business. Weekly podcasts, editing, posting, labeling, it's a lot of work. Yeah, it is definitely is a lot of work. Absolutely it is. That being said, what is your podcast? Let me know. So we'll check it out. It definitely is a lot of work. But I'm no stranger to work. I've never mind putting in the work, but if it's going to get the results that we want, right? Or to get us to where we want to be. And this is Rebel Ants Radio on YouTube and available on Spotify. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to put it down here so I don't forget. All right. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to check that out. Will you have co-host or is it solo? Well, that's the thing, even just to try to figure out right now. But likely it would be solo with just me, but have guests. So it wouldn't just be me talking. I do enough of that on this live stream, but I think it would just be me talking with people that I would want to have on the show, right? So, and I don't think I know of anybody that. Well, I guess there's some people. I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting to think about, but there's nobody that jumps up into my mind about being a co-host. I think there's a whole nother bag of worms that you have to deal with if you want to have co-hosts and whatever, because then you're going on two people's schedules and whatnot. So no, it would just be me. So there's also the thing too. Okay, I figured I'll try to put kind of things in Figma here, just as a way to kind of organize some thoughts. So there's two things that I'm thinking about right now, because we kind of have like the two businesses, I guess you could say. And those are, so the one, there's Pixel, which is, a creative services agency, specializing, web design dev. And then we have Pixel Pieces, which is our WEBFLOW template component library. So we have those two things. Maybe I'll make that a little bit bigger. So now they're kind of the same in the sense that if people are interested in websites, they might come to Pixel, but if they just they can't afford it or what have you, they might go to Pixel Pieces so they can figure out how to build it themselves. And those types of people are generally more kind of entrepreneur. So let's just hang on a second. Let's take a look at the audience. And we have it here too when we have our little, what is this thing called here? What is this called? Our lean canvas. So we have customer segments of people this is for Pixel Pieces, people that are freelancers and developers. We have people that run their own web design agencies. And then we have small to medium enterprises of just people that, want to build their own website. So those are the kind of three customer segments we have for Pixel Pieces, but they can be duplicated a little bit with Pixel. So if we just want to take a quick second here with our audience. So we have one, WEBFLOW enthusiasts, I don't even know how to spell that. Enthusiasts, and website designers, developers. Because those people are going to be interested in things that are maybe a little bit different than just a general entrepreneur, right? So just a general entrepreneur, they're building their own business, looking for a website. So I feel there's almost two different types of people that we can target. People that are interested in just web technology or what have you. And then there's other people that are just entrepreneurs. And there might be overlap as well. But I'm just thinking, imagine a podcast where we could easily do a podcast. Well, let's just kind of put this thing out here. So a podcast. So it's focused on web design and development, where we speak with leaders, whatever voices, in the design community, right? Hang on, I need to move this. Right, so that would be one idea. And another idea would be focusing on just people that are building their own business. And that, you could say, ties into what this live stream is. I mean, on the surface, it's called the unconventional mindset, right? Which is all about learning, documenting how to build $1 million business. So there's definitely overlap. Let's take a look at where there could potentially be overlap, right? People building web agencies. I mean, that is kind of a lot of the big overlap, isn't it? Where we can speak to people that are building their own agencies, that are building building applications, products around building websites, right? Like, imagine just talking to the guys over at Reloom, or talking to some people over at FinSuite, and all these other different places that people are doing really kind of cool stuff, right? We can kind of find out what it is that they're doing in their space. So that could be really cool. So those are where we could find some overlap, I think, if we are talking about not specifically only speaking with people that are in the web space, but people that are in the entrepreneur space, right? But I think the idea is, and Sam, I think you mentioned this a couple days ago, where niche podcasts are ones that tend to do pretty well. And the thing is too, is there's a lot of podcasts that are out there that are just straight entrepreneurship. So we kind of don't want to be this, hey, I'm going to like rival, Alex Hermosi and be like, I'm going to, teach you about all these kinds of things about entrepreneurship, right? We don't want to do that. I think we want to figure out how we can be our own little niche thing where it can help a specific type of people, right? And what would those people look like? And then if we know what those people look like, what is it that they're going to want to hear? And what is it they're going to want to listen to? And then at the end of the day, then the question is, how does this help us? I say us, like Pixel. Do better / more business. So, and there's lots of I don't want to get into the technical details of what I'd want to do. Well, maybe we'll talk about it in a little bit, because that's the fun stuff. Like I love that kind of stuff in terms of how things are going to go. But let's just take a minute here and think about like the business case and how we're going to make this thing work to make sure, as Kevin, as you're saying, it's a lot of work to do a podcast and a lot of work to do it well. But if you do it well and you get an audience, I mean, the benefits are huge. So there's a lot of upside. So how does this help us do better business? So if we're looking through the lens of Pixel, and if we just go to Pixel right now, and I haven't updated this website in a long time. I need to update this thing to really go towards more of the people that I want to target. So if we talk more about Pixel and we want to get more people here, right? We want to get more enterprise clients or what have you, where we want to build websites and help them manage a lot of the creative aspects of running their business. So if we do that, I think the goal that we're going to want to have in our podcast is to reach out people that eventually, I mean, this is a wide net, right? You're shooting a wide net here with this podcast. The goal is to be able to reach out to people that could potentially want to have our services down the line. And I think the way that we can do that, at least initially, to kind of narrow it down, is look at talking with local talent businesses, right? So it's probably a lot easier to get myself known locally as a person that people can trust and count on in order to build their websites here in person versus trying to reach out to everyone and anyone in the world, right? So if that's the case, then we'd be looking at probably, if we're only going to be interviewing people that are local, at least to start, then we'd probably run out of people that are all about web design and development pretty quickly, as opposed to if we were to kind of expand a little bit and talk about entrepreneurs and what they're doing in order to build their own website. Which again, there is overlap in the sense that people that are entrepreneurs that are building their own, say, web design agency, or they're trying to become a freelancer, learning about other people's ups and downs into how they're building their own business, even if it is unrelated to what they're doing, there's still the fundamental connection of business is all about people, and it's kind of how you relate to your clients and how you present yourself. There's just lots of things that you do that are similar, regardless of what it is that you're trying to build, right? You need to understand your market. You need to understand the problem you're trying to solve. You need to understand how to market to your customer base. All these things are very, very similar. So even though the podcast would be talking to people that aren't necessarily into web design or development, people that'll follow Pixel and Pixel Pieces would probably benefit from it and find it interesting. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think, if I'm kind of on the right track here. In terms of, blending the audiences, the two different types of audiences together, and having a podcast that could work for both of them. And that's not to say too that we can't even go specifics into like really, we get a guest that's really into WEBFLOW, as an example. We could really dive into the nitty gritty from that, but still kind of keep it as the entrepreneurial lens kind of always kind of in the background. Yeah, because you could have guests on that have different skill sets, different points of view. They're working on different businesses, and they have different strengths, and it all kind of comes together towards helping people understand how to build their own businesses. But yeah, I do feel like it feels nice, like if you could niche it up in a certain way, but I don't know if this is like if I need to go down even further. Like I'm just thinking of, people that are like, hey, we're just going to teach you how to, be really successful on YouTube, as an example. Because that's business, but it's a specific type of business. So should I try to rein it down a little bit, or I don't know. Because I guess my podcast, I could supplement it, because I am going to be doing videos on just teaching about websites, WEBFLOW, and website building and development, all that kind of stuff. So that could pair well nicely together with a podcast that's more general in terms of entrepreneurship in general. I don't know. Oh, that's loud. Sorry, there's ice cubes in there. Yeah. Canadian ice is no joke. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We take our ice very seriously here. I just got it off from my house. We all live in igloos, right? I just chip a little bit from my wall. I get my ice. It's actually 8 degrees and rainy today out here, which is just rain, boring. Anyways, okay. I think, I don't know. So I'm thinking, is this going to help for business? So thinking about this kind of medium term. So say I spend a year, or for the next, even say 30 weeks. So for the rest of the year, every week we get a new business owner that's here in Halifax or Nova Scotia or wherever, somewhere close by. We bring him into the studio. Say we have a studio, and we do these podcasts, and then we kind of even frame it as a Nova Scotia like business thing, where it's like, hey, what's happening in the Nova Scotia area around entrepreneurship? And if we do that, then we have people that are into business that are around the area that are listening to the podcast, because they're like, hey, I want to know what's going on around in the area. I want to see what business opportunities might be happening, in this province. And will that get the word out about Pixel and what I'm doing? And will that lead to potential clients? So that's one way I could go about it, I think. But that's very local and that's very specialized. And I don't know if that's a good way to go about it. Right. So every interview could end with, "Do you need a website?" Yeah, I don't know if that's a little too much on the nose for the people that are guests. You know, you want them to think that they're guests because that we're interested in what they say, not to sell them something. But yeah, it could be some kind of like a joke or whatever. Hey, you know, you need a website? Yeah, but what do you think? So like Kevin, with your podcast, do you actually, can I, like, maybe I'll just look it up. I'll look it up right now, if you don't mind. Do you mind if I look it up here online? Let me know if you know, don't want it. Stepping out for a few minutes, we'll rejoin. This is a good subject. Yeah, thanks. I do. I have like about 18 minutes left or so, because I do need to step out 18 or 20 minutes or so. So anyways, if you're back, then you're back. If not, then I'll see you tomorrow, next time, or what have you. But definitely let me know what you're thinking and any advice that you can give me, because yeah, I could use it. NFTs and crypto, real boring and nerdy. Crypto is not nerdy at all. Maybe if I would have listened to some of your advice, I would have not had some of my crypto in, oh shit, what was that company? Celsius, which I'm finally getting, I don't know how much percentage of my crypto I'm getting back, but I have to make a Coinbase account so that they can transfer that through, because they finally gone through the whole bankruptcy stuff. Anyways, okay, let me bring it up here. Actually, so here we go. So is this it? Rebel Ants Radio. Actually, let's see. So you guys got your website here? Little ant guys there. Right. So you guys have 55 episodes. Very nice. Very nice. And let's check out your YouTube channel. And then all right, so this is you guys. Right on. I'm incognito here, but I'll go to my live thing and then subscribe for sure. So yeah, look at you guys. You guys got, so what are you using here? Cool. Right on. So it looks like you guys have a lot of people that are, I guess, that your co-hosts and what have you, that you guys are doing. That's really, really cool. So you use EV Mux now, which I've never heard, moved away from StreamYard. Because I'm using OBS, and I think that's what I think I would use. But I've never heard of that, EV Mux. So, oh my goodness. Oh, because you're streaming it as well too. That's really cool. You should have told me about this earlier, man. Definitely check it out. I know I'm definitely not an NFT fan. Definitely not an NFT fan, but crypto for sure. Actually, really only kind of two cryptos, just Bitcoin and Ethereum. Other than that, it's a little bit of speculation. This is really, really cool. So have you guys done any work in terms of trying to figure out who your audience is and different ways that you can do to try to reach out to grab more people to your platform? Or is the goal to really, I mean, what a lot of people do with podcasts is like, hey, I want to do something that's fun around a topic that I'm really interested in. That's really cool. Definitely should chat offline, kind of learning about your process and kind of how you're finding it, and doing things. It looks like you guys are doing all things like virtually as well too, which is a different beast altogether. Well, I mean, you got 1,000 subscribers. I mean, that's not too shabby at all. I mean, you're getting going, and I think it's one of those things too, where when you're trying to grow on YouTube or different platforms, you get these kind of little ticks of like uptick. It's like, oh yeah, and then it's just, then you'll get to this tipping point where all of a sudden you're kind of going out there, and then you'll get there. I think the key is to keep plugging away. We just keep doing it. Yeah. People agreed to come on the show for whatever reason, I guess, and it helps us grow our footprint. Yeah, and that's what's really cool too about, if the goal I think is to just kind of grow as opposed to, if you're not specifically looking for specific business goals right off the bat, just having people come on as guests, and then you can kind of get access to their network of people. They'll tell their friends, hey, I was on the show or whatever. That can help you kind of grow your audience that way, especially if if your goal is to I just want to kind of grow right now and see where things go. So that's really, really cool. Right. Okay. So does it make sense to try to focus on local talent? My gut is telling me that it does. But I'd love to know what you guys think. So the goal would be build an audience. Let's just okay. Let's put this thing. So if we do in-person only interviews, or let's just call it shows, in-person shows with local, or even if we can bring people in, but let's just say local, maybe even regional entrepreneurs. What is the goal? Outcomes. Yeah, it feels like we need a SWOT analysis. Yeah. Oh, is that strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? I think that's what that is. Yeah, it's funny, because I'm doing the business coaching with the Propel, and I feel sometimes going by the book is really helpful, and sometimes I feel that it's not. And I don't know if that's just a personal frame of mind, or that ego gets in the way or what have you. But I find it's really interesting too, because I know when you listen to other people on podcasts, when they're talking about how they got successful or what have you, it's like everyone gets there in a completely different way, and it's really kind of crazy. But I think what most people have in common that are successful is that they find something that they're good at, and they keep going, and they just stick with it, and they keep refining till they basically get product market fit kind of thing. And it's just plugging away and just really learning and developing the skills in order to be successful in that industry or niche or whatever. But yeah. So yeah, the strengths and weaknesses. Ooh, yeah. I could definitely, yeah, let's think about that. Okay. So in-person shows, what are the goals? I would say would be to I say build an audience of people who are wanting to learn about entrepreneurship. Again, this is where I find it's too vague because there's like a million other podcasts you can get. So like there's a million podcasts that do entrepreneur stuff right now. Like, why would you come to me? Because you can listen to Alex Hormozy. You can listen to Smart Passive Income with Pat Flynn. You can listen to like Tony Robbins. There's lots of people you can listen to about entrepreneurship, right? So I feel like that's not niche enough. So, but you can have, let's see. So people wanting to learn about what's going on in the local scene. So that's much more specific. It's more niche. But then I worry about future growth. Well, if I'm just talking about Halifax, I don't want to be the Halifax news show kind of thing, right? So we want to build brand awareness to Pixel and the services. Oh my goodness. We offer. Someone's knocking at the door. The services we offer to, just to businesses. Website and creative, right? Or could it be, could it be that I should not overthink this and just do it for the sake of just kind of growing an audience? Be like, hey, well, I don't know. I feel like it's good to have some kind of plan in mind of what you would want. I think that would work. Or I think that would work better, right? To really just kind of understand why you're doing it and have an overall goal in mind, not just a strict numbers game. Like, hey, I want to have 10,000 downloads. I mean, I guess that would be awesome if I did. But there's got to be a little bit more of a goal behind that, right? So then the audience, if we get more specific, local business people interested in what's going on locally. Yeah, I have a little bit of warning bells that are going off with me about focusing about local business and being too specific, saying like, hey, this is just the Halifax podcast. Because what happens if I want to grow outside of Halifax? Again, I know I'm thinking of like, hey, I'm already successful. And then, this is I'm guaranteed to be successful here, but then I want to branch out. What's that going to look like? So I don't want to presume that that's what's going to happen. But I think it still makes sense to kind of think about what the long-term goal of this podcast would be, so that at least I'm getting off on the right starting point. I don't know if that makes sense. Any concerns with bringing strangers into your house for recording in studio? To be honest, no. I don't have any concerns with that. No. I mean, I guess obviously I wouldn't. No concerns. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's, I don't know. Is that a Canadian thing? we're very trusting. Don't lock the door sometimes. Although now more often than not, Canada's not as safe as it used to be. But yeah, I mean, there's an idea, and then we could talk about logistics as well too. Because I do know a couple people that I think I can talk to that might be able to help me procure some kind of office space. And if I can get that on the cheap or on the free, that would be amazing. And then I could just set up there at an actual office location, which would be kind of cool. But then I don't want to go into the office every day. I hate that. So, but anyways, yeah. Yeah, no, I don't have any concerns with that. Maybe I should, but I don't know. I don't. Because at least the idea is I would kind of know who I'd want to bring, and I would do some research on them first. And I kind of get to know them a little bit before I just invite a complete stranger. I'd probably, have conversations with them first. Oh, okay. Have I gotten anywhere with this thinking today? I do know, thinking about logistics a little bit, I do know that I would want it to be in person. That to me would be, unless it's somebody that I know I can get, that would be like a really amazing person, to talk to, that I could only do it remotely. I would do it, but I think to differentiate from a lot of other people, just having things in person, I think is really good. And I think just talking to people in person is just, also it's more personable or what have you. Can't believe you answered that without checking with your wife. Tis tis. Yeah, no, yeah, I don't want to talk about, but yeah, she would be okay with it too. She would be fine. And if they were feeling not good about it or whatever, that, she would just take the kids and go somewhere, while we'd record a podcast. We'd probably do that anyways, just because it would be really loud with, kids running around or what have you. Yeah, no, she'd be fine with it. She'd be fine with it. Yeah. When it comes to business stuff as well too, she knows that I need to do what I need to do in order to bring the money in the house. We kind of have our roles into how we work on things. So a lot of times too, if it's stuff to do with business, I just like, hey, this is what we're doing and this is what's going to happen. And obviously I'm always looking to her to get her opinions and feedback 100%. But when there's things that's about the house and what she needs to do to take care of the house or whatever, it's like, she just tells me what's what. And then that's it. Like, you do what you need to do. But yeah, she'd be okay with it. We've had people over to the house too that I've done some podcasts in the past, like years and years ago. So she was fine with it. So I'm sure she'd be fine with it now. But yeah, in person would definitely be the way to go. I don't know if it'd be like a competitive advantage right now, but just even making a connection with that person, that's a business person. And that could help me just make connections locally throughout the community as well too, to help get my name out there and help get the word out of who I am and what it is that I do. So, but is this better than even just doing other forms of advertising or other forms of marketing? Yeah, I don't know. Because obviously there's the cold calling thing as well too, where it's looking at people that need websites or what have you. Look at the industries. Like I mentioned before, like you go on Google and look at all the local coffee shops, or look at all the local bowling alleys, look at all the dentists, look at all the insert whatever roofers. Like, there's like a million different types of businesses, and look at all of them, see which ones don't have a website, and use a template, put their logo on it, say, hey, listen, I noticed you don't have a website. Here's one for you. I built it. Let's hop on a call and, go forth and make that sales process. That's definitely a way to get myself out there, but that's also not kind of what I want to do with my life and with my career. So, which is why I haven't gone down that route, which I might do if I really for sure need money, which I don't right now. But if I end up to the point where I do, then that's definitely the route I'm going to take. But does this, yeah. Oh, hang on. I can't see what is going on with That's not what I wanted to bring up. Here we go. Okay. So is it good enough to just be more general in the entrepreneur space? Can you take a look at what's like the Apple podcast? Can I search through this without actually having any Apple things? So I don't have iTunes or whatever. How the hell do I? Because I don't use Apple for like basically anything. But how can I search the Apple like chart toppers? Where am I? Search Apple podcasts. I guess I need iTunes, right? Podcasts. So let's look at what business, I guess, entrepreneurship. Popular, yeah, Noah Kagan, wealthy, yeah, so much. Tim Ferriss, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff, obviously. How to sell online. The Relaunch podcast, interesting. We have a journey designed to catalyze your personal and professional growth, life-altering experiences, to guide you from where you stand now to where your heart truly desires to go, or to be. Goosebump moments to be expected. Sorry, to be. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, how to set yourself apart from the noise. Share stories, habits, ritual, people's journeys on living fulfilled lives. Okay, that's a little bit more. And their success. Interesting. Yeah, best. Interesting. Cubicle to CEO. We asked the business, you can't Google. Behind the business case study, leading entrepreneurs and CEOs who share specific growth strategies. Oh, that's interesting. Our own journey bootstrapping a media company from 300 freelance into millions in revenue. Hey, that's where I'd love to be one of these days. Cubicle to CEO. That's kind of an interesting name. I like that. Product market fit show. See, these are really niche, at least in terms of their, like what they're saying here, what their title is. It's about entrepreneurship, but even this is more specific. It's like, how do you get your product market fit? That's really good. Early stage founder, you have one goal, find product market fit. Yep. We explore the 0 to 1 journey, most successful startups. Cool. Interesting. So these are, it's definitely much more niche than just, hey, entrepreneur stuff. So, but then we get like the Tim Ferriss, and then, obviously he's really huge. But this is where you get more, like it's more broad, right? But he can do that because, he spent, decades like building his own personal brand. Trading secrets behind all things money and careers. Yeah, that's interesting. It's actually good thinking about and doing this kind of research to kind of figuring out what makes the most sense. So I think what I'm learning, or kind of what my gut is telling me, let me get some more notes here. Having a general business podcast might not be the way to go. How to differentiate yourself from other podcasts. Why would someone listen to my show? I think that's the question that we need to ask, or that we need to answer. Well, we need to ask it, but we need to have an answer for it. Like, why would someone listen? And it can't be like, oh, well, because I'm me and I'm special, and it's got to be more than that, right? There's got to be a specific, like, what's the value proposition of a listener? And again, I think the value proposition is super easy when we're talking about local businesses, right? It's the value is, well, you want to know what's going on around in your area, right? You want to see what opportunities might be available or what other people are doing, kind of what's happening in the hustle and bustle of the local municipal level, or maybe even provincial level, I guess, state level, what have you, of what's going on business-wise. So that's kind of easy enough to kind of say for that. But can we, how do we search? Is this going to search? Oh, it's going to search apple.com. I don't want to search apple.com. I want to search something like, let's go to Google. That might be the best. Halifax business podcast. The reality is you can do 2 podcasts if I wanted to. Yeah, a local one and a broader topic. Yeah, even if you do local for 12 months and then broader, you learn a lot going into the broader one. Yeah, even just learning, that's a really good point too. Even saying the first year is I'm just going to really focus on even learning how to interview people, how to be a good listener, how to be able to listen to somebody's question or listening to someone's answers, and being able to formulate really, really good questions or follow-up questions, and to have a really engaging dialogue that people will find very valuable, right? So there is a learning process. So that's a really good point. Local will likely be easier and quicker to start. Because you could see that getting local talent might be easier to do than trying to get some kind of really big name people that are more known globally or nationally. Yeah. And that's true. It's like when you have a podcast, it doesn't mean like it needs to just be there for forever, right? So that's a really good point. It's a really good point to consider. Podcast series. What do we got here? Let's just... Oh, it's not opening? Dio James Collins is a matter... Interesting. Okay. BNV Media. What is this? BNV Media. Who are these guys? We're teammate of a podcast from... I've heard of these guys before. Wait, what do they do though? Oh, looks like these guys, they're like a media company that helps other people do podcasts, right? Right. Prep for podcasting. They do the video, they do the socials. Okay, so these guys are a media company, and they have these different podcasts that I guess these are their clients that are all regional that come into their office to do these podcasts. Interesting. So I should probably take a look at what's going on here. Atlantic Construction Podcast. Oh, where are we? So if I go here, these guys are on, I guess they're on Spotify. So December 2023. So they haven't really, looks like they kind of stopped here, but Ontario General Contractors. Okay. It's actually good to see if you look on Apple. I guess you can kind of get a sense for how popular they are. 16 ratings. Yeah, so we're doing about a couple a month, and then it looks like they kind of stopped in December. So I think there was a business one. Let's go up here. What real estate, what business owners. Okay. There's a journey. In your 30s, two outright. Okay. Local topics, economics. Okay. Get ready to shine. Okay. What are these guys doing here? Take a deep dive with James, blah, blah, most innovative trailblazing stories of the Halifax has to offer. So this is interesting. They only have 21 episodes, though, but they had published recently, so they are still going. But they don't have, looks like they don't have any ratings or what have you. I really love this idea too of being a media company. Well, I mean, I do have a media company, but helping people do podcasts as well too. So like, I mean, if I got some space, and helping out other people create their own content, that would be really, really cool too. That would be fun. Okay. So what else do we have here? Discover Halifax podcast. Business event. Is this actually from the city, or this looks like an actual city website? January 2022. Okay, so this is old. So this one's dead. Request for proposals. Yeah, this definitely looks like a legit Halifax, like the city of Halifax website. Anyways. Downtown Lowdown. December 2021. Okay, so this is interesting. You talk about Halifax business podcasts, and the top 2 or 3 of them that show up in Google are things that haven't been updated in at least a year. So there could be either that could mean there's opportunity, or maybe it means that it's a little bit difficult to get going. 6 episodes here. And it could be one thing to review and kind of see how things are going with these people, or how things have gone with these people. Okay, I think it's 11:46. So I do need to take off because I have some things that I need to take care of. I think, well, I'm going to do some more thinking. And if you do have any thoughts or ideas or comments, please do reach out to me, leave a comment, whatever the case may be. Because I'd really love to hear your feedback, and even things of what you think you would like to see me do on a podcast, or what kind of guests you would like to see me interview, and what kind of topics that you would like for me to cover, and what would be interesting to you. Because you're obviously watching the stream. And yeah, just like, how could I help you bring value into whatever it is that you're doing? Just give me all the details, because that'll be very helpful as well too. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to forget this audience, because this is kind of something that I would love to work in conjunction with this live stream to help grow the audience. Like if you watch the live stream, hopefully you'd want to watch the podcast, and then you want to watch the YouTube videos, or you'd want to watch some educational content that I publish. I want it to all at least connect in some way. And overall, ideally, it's an ecosystem of content that'll help you understand how to build better websites, and on a more broader sense, how to be a successful entrepreneur and business owner. So yeah. Anyways, we'll put a pin in it, think about it, and probably come back tomorrow. Maybe do a little bit more discussions, and maybe I'll flesh things out tonight as I think about this and figure out ways to I don't know. I know I could just start one up, because it's like I got the gear, I got all the stuff. That's the fun stuff. It's just really making sure that it's going to work for what it is I want to do, and I don't want to do it just for the sake of doing it. I want to make sure that it's has the best chance of success. And I know for me in business, that's one thing that I've never really taken the time to do, is I just wanted to start something and I do it without really kind of thinking about it. And 9 times out of 10, my ventures kind of fail, right? So I want to make sure that I give it the best possible chance of success. So that's why I want to try to figure out how to think about things a little bit differently here, and maybe put at least a little bit more thought into what direction I should take before I kind of dive in and take the plunge. So anyways, I'll leave it there. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you for tuning in. And again, any comments you leave would be very much appreciated. And we'll touch base again tomorrow, and we'll see where we are. And we'll just keep going, keep plugging away. Have yourself a great rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Oh, comment in there. Let's go. Time for podcast. As I was saying, definitely happy to do one. Would love to do one, but let me know what it is you would love to see on a podcast. Because at the end of the day, it's not really just for me to do because I love doing it, but it would be for me to do something that's going to provide value to you, right? Because at the end of the day, I want you to watch it. So a little late today. Yeah, no problem. Or maybe you weren't late. I was early. That's the thing, right? So that's it. But yeah, just basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out what kind of podcast that I should start, if I should start it, what it's going to look like, what kind of audience should I target, and then what type of guests should I have on in order to kind of fulfill what that audience would want, basically. And then, if you guys have anything that you can say that'll help steer me in the right direction, then that would be super awesome. Anyways, I do got to run. I'm quite late. So thank you for joining, even as late as you may be. Have a good one, and we'll see you tomorrow.